Hey yo! Thanks for coming and checking out Alt Life Yoga. It is my birthday weekend. I am super excited, and if you want to do something really awesome for my birthday, you should subscribe and comment and say hey to me. Connect. I would love to hear from you. Love to know what you think, what you'd like to see more of or less of, or ideas, poses you want to work on. All that stuff is super sweet. Awesome for my birthday weekend. I was cooking breakfast this morning and I stuck a hot spatula right in my mouth, so I had this giant blister and it's really uncomfortable. Part of the problem with the fact that I don't tend to think about things before I do them. My friend was talking about how I do this, and he's like, yeah, like you would totally just run into a burning building, so people like you should be firefighters out there saving the world. And I'm like, I don't know if I should be a firefighter if I'm so impulsive that I'm just like running into burning buildings and sticking hot spatulas in my mouth. Probably not going to last very long in that sort of environment, just being that brash. And the thing is, like, even if nothing that you do in your life is this big giant gesture that saves the world all at once, you can still do a lot of really small, really powerful things to impact the world around you very positively. And that is absolutely just as, if not more noble than going and running into burning buildings, right? We don't need to be afraid of taking any action because we're worried that that action isn't enough, or that action doesn't have immediate enough of response, of results. So we're going to do a lot of fairly familiar shapes today and continue building upon them and re-examining them and noticing how the repetition, the consistency, the small little bits can help open us up. Maybe make something really, big and otherworldly, like sitting cross-legged, become a little bit more accessible, and some other fun stuff too. So I'm really glad you're here. Really glad we're here to practice. Thanks for being here to help me celebrate my birthday. And yeah, let's get to the mat, okay? Thanks. We're going to work on trying to sit cross-legged today, which is rather difficult for some of us, just depending on how our hips and our thighs rotate. So if you'd like, you can grab a pillow or a blanket, fold it up, and see if that helps you at all. We're going to start off by coming into table pose and then working into Gomukhasana, or cow face. You're going to take the right leg all the way behind the left and then start to sit back. Make sure you're not sitting up on your heels so that you have the thighs crossed right over each other. And you might notice that you're in more of this place and feel kind of precarious. So if so, take that blanket or pillow and put it right underneath that hip so that you feel steady on both sides. And then take your left arm down and your right arm up. I'm going to try to open up the chest and lift up out of the hips, bringing the arm back a little bit, taking the fingertips behind your shoulder, and then push down into your supporting arm, your left arm, and see if you can get any lift. And then once you're up here, let the legs come back down. Take a deep breath in. And then you can take your left arm and snake it up the back, and bringing my fingertips maybe open on the back or hooking them together. And if that's not working out for you, you can always take like this elementary school PE stretch, just lifting your top elbow up, and if you've got the bind, pulling the bottom elbow down, relax into the hips, deep breath in. And then release. I'm going to twist towards the front leg, I'm going to twist in the low back. And then twist away from the the top leg. See if you can drop down into that left hip just a little bit. Breathe in here. And then come forward. You can swing the legs in front of you or come forward into table pose. And then we'll cross the left leg right up behind the right. Sit back, remove the left heel from underneath your tush, and maybe take the blanket underneath your right hip. And then pressing down into the right hand, take the left arm up, and we bring the arm bone back so we can try to make space for the head to stay lifted and take the fingertips back. Push down into the right hand, deep breath in, and then maybe reach the right arm up the back. You could find hands, you could spread the fingertips out, or just say, no, PE stretch for me, man. And drop outwards through both elbows. See if you can lift open through your heart, drop the thigh bones down. Deep breath in. And exhale. Release your bind, whatever you've taken, and then start to twist over towards the right and opening up the outside of the thigh, lifting the chest open, and then twisting away from your top leg, away from your right leg, but try not to take the right hip with you. Go ahead and leave it back down, just like you're leaving perhaps an irritating younger sibling at home. Take a deep breath in, and then come forward. You can swing the legs out, or you can come over your knees and come back into table pose. Just take a couple of cat-cows. And notice how differently the hips might feel after doing all of that intense work. And then curl your toes under, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Moving with the heels a little bit, shifting the hips back and forth. And then look forward to your hands and step your feet up to the front of your mat. Get soft in the knees. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, hands come down at your heart. And start to move through Sun Salutation A. Take a deep breath in, stretch the arms up. As you exhale, fold on down. Maybe knees are still soft. Take a deep breath in, open the heart up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to the top of your plank, and then pull the tailbone to your heels, lift the spine, come forward to the tiptoes. Exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'll stay here a couple breaths. Release the inner heels, strong in the hands, soft in the heart and the head. And one more deep breath in. Look forward, step your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand all the way up. And exhale, hands come down to the heart. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to the top of your plank. Take a deep breath in, tailbone to heels, come forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's add on some shapes. Inhale, stretch your right leg back. Look forward and step your right foot to the front of the mat. Then turn your left heel down. Come up into warrior one. And pull your thigh bone, your right thigh bone, up into your hip. And notice how that activates the legs a little bit more. Take one more deep breath in. And then open up into warrior two. I like to move my back foot. And then check in with that right thigh again, pulling it in towards the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. Step back to the top of the plank. Inhale here. Exhale, move forward and down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch the left leg back. Look forward, step the left foot to the front of the mat. Taking the back heel down, come up into warrior one and plug that left thigh bone in. Good, deep breath in. Exhale, warrior two, maybe adjusting that back foot. Plug the thigh bone in, push the shoulders down. Inhale here. Exhale, take the hands down. Then step back, top of the plank. Open the chest. Exhale, keep the chest open. Inhale, push the floor away. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep pushing the floor away. We're going to add on. Keep adding poses every time. The new poses will stay in a little bit longer. The poses that we've already visited, we're going to slow the breath down in order to take them one breath, one movement. So inhale, stretch the right leg back. Look forward, right foot to the front of your mat. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Keep plugging the thigh bone in. We'll come up to peaceful warrior. And make sure that your tailbone's pointing down, nice and open through this thigh. Exhaling as you come forward into side angle. Now lift up your left hip. Get a deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. Inhale at the top of your plank. Exhale, down dog or come forward to chaturanga and move through this vinyasa, which you can also always take on your knees And you can skip them. Down dog's a good place to hang out. Also, maybe you could always hang out in child's pose or table pose if that felt better to you. Inhale, stretch your left leg back. Look forward, step the left foot up. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, the peaceful warrior. We'll hang out here a moment, lifting upwards and still pulling the left thigh bone in. Then coming forward as you exhale, elbow comes to the thigh, but push down to open the heart up. Stretch out from pinky finger to pinky toe on the right side. And deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. And come back to the top of your plank, tailbone to heels. Breathe in. Exhale, down dog or move through a vinyasa. Chaturanga, up dog, downward dog. Good, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, stretch the right leg back. Look forward, step the right foot up. Left heel down, inhale, warrior one. And exhale, the warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. And we're going to move into sky archer. So straighten into your right leg. Take peaceful warrior arms and lift up and out of your right hip, dropping your thigh bone straight down below you. Lift up and out of your right hip, dropping your tailbone straight down below you. Deep breath in here. And then we'll move into triangle pose. Reach out over your long right leg. Take the left arm up. And then press out into your hands so the shoulder moves back. You might even have your fingertips just slightly in front of your top shoulder. Deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. Step back to the top of your plank. Breathe in, strong spine. Come forward or back into downward dog. Good. Deep breath in, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Left side, reach it up. Look forward. Exhale, step the foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, sky archer, strong into both feet. Head relax down into the left hip, tailbone down, shoulders open. And then take the left arm forward, opening up into triangle, and broaden the muscles in your back and lift your right hip up. You might feel just a little bit more stacking and opening in the hips. Inhale here. Exhale, take both hands down. Step back, top of the plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, vinyasa or upward dog or child's pose. Good. Take a deep breath in. Big loud sigh. Inhale, stretch your right leg back. Look forward, step the right foot up to the front of the mat. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, triangle pose. Deep breath in, open the top hip. And then take both hands down. You're going to lift up onto the back toes and come into this lunge. Now push your feet down and feel your legs get further apart. Get a little bit more stretch to the hamstring and the quadricep. And then pull your thigh bones into your hips. Feel a little bit more connected, even in the hips. And take your right arm up. Twisting lunge. Deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. Lower the left knee and stretch your right leg all the way back behind you. Then pivot the left toes out and come up into side gate, pushing down into your left hand, that's my left, and pushing out into the right, lifting the right hip up. On your exhale, take both hands down. Come back to the top of your plank. You could go straight back to downward dog or move through another vinyasa. Deep breath in. Exhale, down dog. Good. Left leg stretches up. Take a deep breath in, look forward, step it to the front of your mat. Inhale takes you to warrior one. Exhale to warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, triangle pose. Open that top hip up, broaden the back. Exhale, take both hands down. So find the lunge and then get really long. Push out into your feet, into the thighs. And then pull the thigh bones in. Your hips might lift up a little bit. And then take the left arm open. And reach outwards. Nice long twist. And then take both hands down. We'll move into side gate. So notice I'm taking my bottom leg, my toes behind me. That way my thigh is open. And I can open up the front of the hips a little bit more. And lifting up through the left hip. Deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. And curl the toes under. Step back to the top of your plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down or down dog. Inhale. Moving through the slow. Continuing the pace of your breath. Continuing the intensity. And finding peace with the shapes. Deep breath in. Exhale. Now go ahead and lower the knees down. Come back to child's pose for just a moment. Softening the back. Maybe wiggle your fingers out if you've got a little bit of tension in the wrists. And coming back up to downward facing dog. We'll look forward and step the feet up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, hands come down into your heart. I'm going to take a little break from our flow to do some standing balancing in tree pose. So take your right foot up and you might bring it just so that your foot is on the inside of your ankle. You can take the foot up onto the calf, or sometimes if you can grab onto the ankle, you can place the foot on the inside of the thigh. And for this variation, take your hands into your heart and push down really strong into your feet and your hands so that you get nice and lifted. And we're going to play around with just a small little thing of shifting the eyes around. So go ahead and take your gaze down to your fingertips. And then if that's going well, you can try taking your eyeballs up to the ceiling. And then look forward again. Are you still breathing? Try closing your eyes. Ooh. And then open your eyes and lift the leg up to set it down. Wiggle stuff that needs wiggling. Why is that hard, right? It's just the eyeballs. It's just a little thing. Well, that's changing our focus, and focus makes a huge difference in how well we're able to balance. So let's try the other side. Toes on the floor, foot on the ankle, the calf, maybe taking the foot up onto the thigh. Make sure it's not your knee because you want to press into this foot. Press down into that foot and get a nice lift. Open inner thigh from these things. And taking your gaze down to your fingertips is hard, because your fingertips are moving a little bit. And then taking your gaze up is hard because it's taking the head off the spine. And then taking the gaze forward so that the spine is straight, but then closing your eyes is hard because we lose a little bit of that focus. A little bit harder. Okay, and then lift that leg up and put it down and wiggle that stuff around. So yeah, little things can make a huge change in our world, right? Let's go back to that flow. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Deep breath in, nice long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to the top of your plank. Remember, down dog is always an option, child's pose, or move through a vinyasa. Keep breathing. Whatever you're choosing, keep active in your body. Take a deep breath in, stretch your right leg up, look forward. Right foot to the front of the mat, left heel down. Come on up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Lift up that top hip. Inhale to sky archer. And then exhale to triangle. And then open the top hip, the top shoulder. Exhale, take both hands down. And come into your lunge. Lift the back heel. And then take the right arm up. Deep breath in, broaden the back. And from here, see if you can step back to side plank. You might take the fingertips down first, Right leg goes back, come onto the outer edge of your left foot, and then push the hips up. Try for a deep breath in here, broadening the back, and then take both hands down. Good, down dog or forward through chaturanga and up dog, and then coming back to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up, look forward, left foot to the front of the mat, right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle, long on the right side. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, triangle pose, strong feet, open that heart up, breathe in. Exhale, take both hands down, long lunge. Lift the hips, lift the left arm, deep rotation, and then take both hands down. So just like in your lunge, you're going to take the left arm open, broaden the back, but lift your left hip up. And deep breath in. Exhale, take both hands down. Good. Move through a vinyasa or skip it. And keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. And lower your knees down and come into table pose for a moment. And take a couple of cat-cows. Softening into the spine. Relaxing the breath. And come down onto your belly. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. And then get down dog strong in your fingertips. Bend into your right leg. Keep strong on the right hand. Now look back. You might even roll over onto one side a little bit, but see if you can reach back for the foot. Find the foot, and then once again, remember you're down dog strong in your spread out right fingertips. Both hips and shoulders are forward. Push into those toes. Push into the right arm. Open the chest up. Breathe in. And then come back down into Sphinx. This time it's left leg, strong left hand. Look and find that foot. Once you've got that sucker, hips and shoulders forward, lengthening out through the body. Continuing the breath, inhale. And then let yourself go. Take another deep breath in here, flat through the spine. Take another deep breath here, opening up the heart evenly. And then come on down, forehead onto your hands. Rock the heels a little bit side to side to soften the hips out. Exhale. And push back up in a table pose. And that was pretty challenging being on the belly, and it gets a little bit more interesting on the hands and knees. We're going to take the hands and press them down so that your hips and shoulders are even, nice and strong in the back. And then take the right arm forward and the left leg back. Got the wall. Let me move a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of cow spine through the body. So remember, where the belly dips down and the hips and shoulders lift up by pushing outwards. Deep breath in. And then soften as you exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. Arc through the spine. Deep breath in. And then bend into your left leg. Lift those toes all the way up to the ceiling. And then reach back with your hand. Grab the foot. You're going to push toes into the ceiling. Push the left arm down to the floor. Try to keep the hips and shoulders even. You may fall. That's normal. This is harder than it looks. Deep breath in. And then come on down. Wiggle out a little bit. Let's take the other side. Take your left arm forward. Nice strong open chest. Right leg back. And then inhale. Extend. Open up the belly. Exhale. Soften. Inhale. Nice deep back bend. Exhale. Inhale, reaching outwards, not up. And then let it go a little bit. Stretch your right toes straight up to the ceiling. Reach back, find those toes. And then push them up into the ceiling with the behind. Try to keep your chest even, your hips as even as you can. Try to keep breathing. And a deep breath in. And then let it go. And wiggle some stuff out a little bit. Let's come back into child's pose for just a moment. And then broaden the back, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath. So if you'd like to, you can move through that, or you can come onto your belly, or you could work perhaps bow pose. We're going to play around a little bit with taking a bind behind us in both gate and side plank. So I'm going to show this from the back. Remember how we wanted to have the toes behind so that the thigh bone faces forward, and I'm going to stretch the right leg out and take the right arm up. Now, this bind could be down on the bottom knee, so you can bend into the right leg, reach back, but try to lift your right hip up. That's going to help keep from getting the knee up higher, and then we're going to get a little bit more space on both sides of the waist. Good. So that's option 1. Option 2 is to come up into side plank. Ooh, okay. Broad through the back. I'm going to bend into the knees a little bit so I have a little bit more energy in my legs. And then down on my foot, I'm not on the razor edge, the outside. I'm down more on the flat part of the foot. I'm going to bend into the right leg, reach back for my foot, and then lift the hips up, starting to push the toes back. And try for a solid inhale here. Good. And then come on down. Maybe get off of the hands for a little bit if you need to shake those out. And then coming back to try again. And you can always take this variation of being down on the bottom knee. It's opening up the front of the thigh, lifting this top hip, finding the foot, opening the front of the body, maybe even looking upwards, kind of getting a little bit more lift. Or you can take the side plank variation, which is, by the way, a little harder. I'm going to lift up, bend into the knees, trying to bring more toes onto the floor, and then bend into the top leg. Find my foot. I'm not quite as steady on this side. I'm going to lift the left hip up, push the floor away. Deep breath in. Oh. Try one more time. Ooh. Good. Deep breath in. Okay. Well, you may have had more or less success than me. I just know that's not really my strong side. So from here, come back in a child's pose. Wiggle out your fingers. Relax. And then coming on up. We're going to just close out this practice, bringing it down and seeing if we can get back to that cross-legged seat. So got a pillow or a blanket in place just in case there's a little cushioning needed. I'm going to take the left leg. I'm going to try to come into fire logs, which is to bring the ankle up on top of the knee. This is sometimes called double pigeon. And ideally we want to get the shins stacked on top of each other and be able to have both hips on the floor, which for a lot of us ends up looking a lot more like this. And you feel quite uncomfortable and like you're doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. Your body is just perhaps not designed to be totally good in this shape. So sometimes a blanket or a pillow underneath the hip or in between the legs, if the knee has any pain, that's a good place to be. Also, just take Sukhasana, cross one leg in front of the other, or maybe Lotus or half Lotus is a little bit more intense for you. So ankle on top of knee, maybe shins are stacked, maybe you have one of those variations. And then we're going to turn away from the top leg like we did earlier in cow face and see if you can leave the leg behind you. So not lifting up on the hip, but letting the hip, the thigh bone drop down. Deep breath in. And then come forward. Start to walk your fingertips forward, leaving your hips on the ground and relaxing into this stretch. We'll spend a few breaths here. And see if you can allow yourself not to push into this. So not trying to push the body forward, but leaving the legs on the ground and just seeing what happens if you can try to make peace with the shape. Knowing that these are little bits of improvement that we get over a whole long period of time. And every little bit, every little time we come here, cross the legs and try to be all right with that shape, the more accessible it tends to become. So rock yourself back up and unwind the legs. We'll take the other side. So this time you're going to take the right leg on top, and you might notice that it is totally different for you because you have your legs in completely different rotation on either side. So if you need the pillow on this side and you didn't on the other, in between foot and knee or underneath your hip, you can grab those things. I'm going to start by twisting away from the top leg, leaving the thigh bone relaxed off to the side. And lift up through that open heart still. Try to soften into this twist. Inhale. Exhale, come forward. And then walk your fingertips forward as much as you can manage and try to make peace with staying here, perhaps a little bit longer than you think is comfortable. I'm going to show you something real quick. You stay here. So my legs rotate at completely different angles. I have noticed my left leg is really close into my body, the toes point behind me, and the leg doesn't go very far down, but my right leg is a little farther from the body, whereas the toes point down and the leg goes much closer to the floor. Now I can adjust and make this a little bit more even by adjusting into my body, but this is just where my legs go. This is where I have more rotation. I have less external rotation left leg, more on my right leg. And that also makes a big difference in how strong my legs are. I have a lot more control over my left leg, and perhaps a little bit, well, I know I have a lot more fluidity in the right leg, but it's harder to engage that in certain places because the joint's just a little bit looser. So, different. Sometimes we feel like we have different legs than other people, and sometimes we feel like one of our legs might belong to somebody else. It's just got a whole different situation going on, and don't worry, you're human. That's how we are. And then come on up. Unwind your legs. And we're going to come into altar pose, just to open up the fronts of the thighs. So hands are behind, fingertips face forward, push into the feet to lift the hips up. Open up your chest. You can let your head come back if you like. And take a deep breath in. And take the hips back down. And then come into your own version of a comfortable cross-legged position. So that's legs in front, legs folded over. If you've got a full lotus practice, you're welcome to go there. What I also like is to sit up on something so that I can feel like my knees open up a little bit more. It's a little softer in the pelvis. Take your index finger and your thumb together. It's a nice mudra, hand gesture of connection, of drawing inwards, and draw inwards for a moment. Connect with yourself. Try to figure out where you're at, how your body's feeling. Notice if this seat feels any different than the seat you started off with, which it probably does. You can notice that even over just this time that we've spent together, just this little bit of yoga, that your body probably feels very different. That your breath is different. That you're in a different headspace than when you started. And ask yourself at this point if there's anything else that you need in order to round out your practice. If you need to take a bridge pose or a twist or pause and invert for a little while, be upside down, feel free to do any of those things. But if you're feeling ready, we can start to work our way down into Shavasana. So you can unwind the legs. And come on down onto your back. Just let the legs flap open and the arms come down by your sides. And doing anything you need to set yourself up for a really sweet, beautiful rest. And stay here as long as you can. As long as you have time for a good solid 5 minutes or so is usually really good. Seeing if you could continue to relax, to soften the breath and find some peace with being still. Taking just this last moment to acknowledge the incredible changes that you've made to your world through this practice. Just by taking these small movements, this attention to the breath. Bowing down to the light within your heart. Namaste.